Okay, bye. So I'm doing a point-to-point hike across the moors. 27 miles my route, which obviously I'm doing over 2 days. So let's get going. So this very first part of the route out of Okehampton, I'm taking this road which goes past the army training centre, and it's quite steep, and I'm almost ready to stop for lunch already, even though I've only been walking like half an hour. So I'm just approaching the army training centre now, and then just beyond it a couple of the hills that I'm gonna climb over after lunch. It's a gorgeous day, so I think it's going to be a really nice hike. This is the military training area that we're going to enter. We've got no firing scheduled today or tomorrow, so we're all good. Gonna crack on. I've just had to do some foot care already, which is pathetic because we're like a mile and a half in. Don't buy new walking boots and then wear them on a really long hike. I think I can see my first wild pony. So I just stopped for a little drink. I'm at Hound Tor now, which is a cool name. I should probably get cracking on now because I'm only like halfway through, I think. I've actually dilly-dallied a bit more than I thought I would. I thought I wouldn't stop very much because I'm on my own. But I have. You might be thinking, or you might not, why would you want to go and do an overnight hiking trip on your own? Why am I here? Why do I feel compelled to do this? What's the point? So far, I've thought of 2 reasons. I enjoy doing these types of adventures, like a lot. It's my favourite thing to do. Sleeping outside, travelling under your own steam. And I've done like quite a lot of adventures like that before, mostly with Sam or sometimes with a friend or friends. Because I enjoy doing this type of thing so much, it just means that I can do more cool stuff if I'm happy to come and do it on my own. Just more broadly about confidence. So hopefully I'll get from this just very short overnight trip a bit more confidence that I am very capable. I'm capable of doing cool, adventurous things on my own, and I don't need to rely on anybody else. Yeah, just be independent. It feels cool to be independent. Yeah, it feels badass. Like I'm carrying all my camping gear right now, my food and water. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, hopefully this gives me confidence to do more stuff like this, and also just take that into other parts of my life. Just feeling more confident and more capable, and like I'm a general all-round badass human being. So one of the things that I was a little bit worried about on coming on this kind of trip on my own is getting water. I've not used a water filter before or purified my own water. I've never needed to. I've been on one hiking trip before where a friend did it, but still it feels a little bit nerve-wracking doing it on my own for the first time. Like, what if I picked a bad spot? What if I get sick? I'm sure it's going to be fine. It's nearing the end of the day. I'm not sure I'm going to make it to the next water source, which is where I actually intended to get for the night. I'm not sure I'll make it that far because I've been a little bit slow and I set off a bit late. So I've stopped early to make sure I get water here. It's reasonably fast flowing, although not that big. It looks clear, so fingers crossed. So, Hanging Stone Hill, it's this little peak here, which also has, like a lot of the other tors and hills on Dartmoor, has a really creepy army building on it. I mean, it kind of looks like a lookout or like firing post. Anyway, I'm gonna do just a little bit more. I don't want to sleep next to the creepy building. So this was the second thing that I was a bit nervous about doing on my own. I mean, I've wild camped like hundreds of nights with Sam, but not on my own before, and so even though I do have loads of experience choosing a good place, there's just the added consideration of the fact that I'm on my own that maybe even more than previously I want to make sure that I pick my spot carefully. And it's kind of one of the sort of sad and frustrating things that I feel sometimes about being a woman in the outdoors, is that you do feel a bit more vulnerable if you're on your own. Hopefully this spot is fine, and I mean, ideally nobody would even come across me, never mind bother me, which I'm sure they won't, but not many women do this, probably because of safety concerns. So yeah, but fingers crossed, it's going to be fine. I'm going to have a good night. I found the flattest spot that I possibly can. It's not very flat at all, behind this little tuft, sort of 100 metres from the vague track that's running across this hill. So yeah, time to set up camp. First time setting up the tent actually as well. Got a pretty nice sunset right now in front of me, so I'm cooking my dinner here. Feeling quite pleased with myself now. It's all gone well. Got my tent set up, got my dinner happening, got my view. What more do you want? Grubs up. I'm excited. So hungry. This is going to be really good. Tucked up in my tent. Had my dinner. Watched the changing colours in the sky for a while. Actually, I thought I would be bored, but yeah, just sat for a while watching the different colours in the sky, and it was really nice. And now I'm gonna do a bit of reading, get some sleep. Hopefully I'll sleep well on my lumpy patch of ground. Night night. Morning. I slept okay actually. Well, I didn't sleep great, but that was because it was really cold. I did have a slight panic when I got up in the middle of the night to go for a wee, and I could see all of these red poles lit up in red lights. And I remember reading on the Dartmoor website before I came out that when you enter the military training area, the perimeter is marked by these red and white striped poles. And when they're doing a training exercise, a firing exercise, when the public aren't allowed to enter, it'll be indicated on the poles with a red flag. And I'm sure it said if they're doing one at night, it'll be indicated by the poles being lit up in red lights. I must be wrong with that, because I checked the schedule online before I set off and it definitely said they're not doing any. But it did freak me out when I got out and I saw all the red lights and I was like, oh my god, imagine I just pitched my tent here in the middle of the training area and there are all these men about to run out with guns. Anyway, that's not what happened. Instead, this morning, the tent is surrounded by cows and they're okay. Tastes a little bit like last night's noodles. It's an absolutely gorgeous morning. Right, that's me packed up and ready to go. I'm a little bit apprehensive about how much left I've got to do today in terms of the distance to get back to get over to Bovey Tracey. So I'm just leaving the military training area now. So I think what I saw last night was not a light on this pole, which is a very tall grey thing, but I saw the red and white poles, which maybe you can see over there, which demarcate the perimeter. I saw those lit up, so that's my misunderstanding, I think, that freaked me out in the middle of the night. So I just stopped by the river here to pump some more water. Should have enough for the rest of the day now. Just couldn't ask for a more gorgeous day today. Just cannot believe it, it's stunning. So having such a good time. Walking past Hound Tor now. A couple of cyclists camped up there. I don't know how they got there here on their bikes. There must be a way that I didn't notice. Feeling quite grumpy now. I just went up to my knees in bog. You probably can't see that, but anyway. And I looked at the map and I've got like such a long way to go. And I'm making really slow progress because like it says there's a footpath or, you know, a trail on the map, but I cannot find it. Even when my GPS is like supposedly right on the path, there's just nothing. And the terrain is so boggy. It's just really slow going. Like there's no option to like finish early by any, like there's no other way. I have to get to Bovey Tracey so I can get the bus home because there's no other place. So, crack on. So I just made it up to the top of, it's called Water Hill, and I'm just coming down now. I can see the main road, so I'm just coming down to the road crossing near to Postbridge. Still a really long way to go, but I've come a little bit out of my doom spiral, so let's keep going. So hungry and tired now. I'm not quite halfway. I've just rounded a corner and I can see for the first time the not quite end point but the significant landmark, which is Hound Tor and Lowman, which are the two big rocks that you can see in the centre there, right in the distance. And I know once I get there, I'm an hour and a half downhill to Bovey Tracey. So here it is, finally arrived at Hound Tor. It's a very welcome sight. Not too much further now to get back over to Hound Tor area and then down into Bovey. Oh, my feet are tired. This walk would be even nicer if I didn't have a horrible period headache. So I'm almost done. Got about 5k, 3 miles, just down some country lanes now. I'm pretty chuffed with myself. I'm pleased that I did the walk, all of the walk as I intended, because especially today, like the distance was really challenging for me. From where I camped last night, I could have gone back the same way and got the bus from Okehampton again, which would have been a much shorter walk, but I didn't. So I'm pleased about that. Yeah, I'm pleased that I decided to do the overnight and that I committed to it. Yeah, because I've sort of like broken that little barrier now, and it was awesome. So great experience. Highly recommend it. So thanks for watching.